Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Stevie Nicol. Later on in the show, we'll be discussing Liam Rosenior, who is officially now the Chelsea manager. But speaking of managers, of course, there is a vacant spot at Manchester United at the moment. We know Fletcher will take over for the next couple of games. Well, then what? Well, according to stories today that have snowballed, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on his way back to Old Trafford. For more on this, let's welcome in, shall we? Frank Leboeuf joins us. But first, Julien Laurent. Jules, what's going on?
That's a great question. Ole back at the wheel. I never thought we would say anything like that again after what happened last time, but it seems that Manchester United want an interim manager, if you want, because as you said, Fletcher is going to be there at least for the Burnley game, probably for the FA Cup game as well. And then it looks like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on his way back to finish the season. So all that second part of the season until United appoint a permanent manager in the summer. It's either they have no idea who could be the permanent manager right now. It could be that they want to take their time, so this time they don't mess it up and actually pick the right guy. Or it could also be that they've got no clue on how to run this football club, which is not new because obviously it's been going on for years now. But I know there was a bit of a new bounce when he arrived at the club, as we see here in 2018 after Jose Mourinho. And his win percentage is not too bad, to be fair, certainly much better than Ruben Amorim. I'm just not sure really what kind of direction that takes your team and your club, and also what it says about your club to go and get him back on the bench.
Thoughts, Stephen?
I think it makes complete sense that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would come back between now and the end of the season. I mean, you saw how it went for Amorim when he was brought in during the season. So I think it makes complete sense. The guy's well experienced. You know it's in a safe pair of hands. You know it's not going to go too far one way or the other. So it makes complete sense to me. Why would you not? And then it gives you time to try and figure out what you need to do for next season. I think Ole makes complete sense.
Frank?
Well, it makes sense, yes, if they think about somebody else next season. Otherwise, I don't know why. I don't know why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be back. I mean, it makes no sense. Really, that club and the people in charge of it, they're very surprising to not say something else. You know, I'm very surprised by the decisions. So if there is a thought behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming back, okay. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense for me.
I suppose that the big question is, Jules, can he get Manchester United into a proper European spot?
Yeah, I agree. And really, we've said it often enough on the show, the quality of the Premier League so far this season is average, right? This is a great opportunity for Manchester United to actually finish in that top 5, because we know that the 5th place will qualify you for the Champions League. You should anyway. And right now, they're in there. I know it's very tight between 4th and 14th, and yeah, a couple of wins or a couple of defeats can take you down the table or up again. But they've got no European competition. They only have the league to focus on. They're not even in the League Cup anymore. They will have the FA Cup, of course, this weekend on ESPN, but that's a little bit different. And that's a great opportunity. The only thing I would say on Solskjaer, just to go back to Stevie's point, what happens if he does really well between now and the end of the season? You cannot give him the permanent job again. It would be completely mad. And he's not good enough anyway to be the permanent Manchester United manager. Whereas if you, for example, give this interim job now between now and the end of the season to Michael Carrick, and Carrick does well, you could clearly give a chance to Carrick. You could give a chance to Fletcher, I guess, but at least Carrick managed in the Championship, did well with Borough, and probably has more credential in that job for a longer period than Fletcher. Give it to Carrick instead of giving to Solskjaer, because Solskjaer will never get it permanently. Whereas I think Carrick, if he proved his worth and does well for the next 4 months, then you could see him getting the permanent job, not Solskjaer.
But the thing is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not going to win the Premier League between now and the end of the season with Manchester United. He's not going to be in the top 3. I mean, as bad as they are under Ruben Amorim, they're sitting in 6th place. So if Ole moves them up 2 other spots, then that okay. That doesn't mean you have to give him the job.
Right.
So do you want to gamble on somebody who's never been at Manchester United and could actually crumble under it like a Michael Carrick? You don't know. But what you do know is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will calm things down. He'll at very least galvanise the team together. But as I said, they ain't going to go and win the Premier League because they don't have a squad good enough that you're going to be put in a position where you have to give them the job. It's just not going to happen with the squad they have.
So, Jules, yesterday we were speculating about what could happen. Obviously, an interim manager would take over till the end of the season, and then discussions as to who could possibly take over in the summer to try and guide Manchester United back to those glory days. The general consensus from everyone kind of ticks all the boxes was Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be my choice if I was running Manchester United right now. Let's see what happens with England at the World Cup. I think he loves club football too much. I know he's enjoying his time with England now, kind of, because right now he's watching our show. That's all he's doing right now. He's got nothing to do.
He's the only one.
He's just watching ESPN FC every day. Yeah, he's the only one. And his family. But you see what I mean? So I think he misses club football, but that's another debate. But what's true about this interim coach, whether it's Solskjaer or somebody else, whatever, is that they would obviously, it's obvious, but more options to look at in the summer. Marco Silva might well be a free agent, off contract, because his Fulham contract finishes in June. Same for Glasner. You'll have more chances really to get Iraola if you want him from Bournemouth in June and July than you have now halfway through the season. And you can look at other coaches, even in Italy or in whatever leagues, people who are in jobs right now, it's much easier to get them during the summer than it is halfway through the season. That's what it gives you as well to go for an interim coach with the pros and cons that has. For me personally, if I could write one name, I would go for Thomas Tuchel for sure.
Do you agree, Frank?
No, not at all. Because the guy is going to be involved with the World Cup. We expect England to go far in that World Cup, maybe until the final, at least the semi-final, even the quarter-final. That means that Tuchel won't have the time to work on the Manchester United project. So why the point to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer waiting for somebody else to come, somebody who maybe won't have the time to take care of the business? So if he comes after the semi-final, it will have like 2-3 weeks to prepare the season.
But isn't that a better option, Frank, than just making do?
Enough.
Like if you look at some of the other managers that might be available, we mentioned yesterday Ancelotti, Pochettino, isn't it worth the wait for a bigger name with more experience as to going with someone, say like Glasner, who's done fantastically well at Palace, but we don't know how he'll do under that pressure going to a big club?
Well, the big question is he somebody who can take care of Manchester United right now? We had big names, which they tried things, it didn't work, and nobody can deal with that right now. Really, you have to start from scratch, because that's what it is with the team. Not with the club. The club has history. But with the team, with the players, with the way it works, you have to start from scratch, because nothing works.
Who would you have, Frank?
They try to compensate. Well, Glasner can be a very good idea. Anybody, maybe De Zerbi, leaving Marseille and coming to Manchester United. But again, somebody who had the time to build something, work on it, and it's somebody who's going to be has to be free, almost free right now. But think about it right now. I mean, Tuchel has too much of a task, working and making England maybe winners of something after 1966 to think about Manchester United. So for me, I understand what Jules says, but I disagree.
I'm afraid I agree with you, Dan. We don't live in a perfect world, and certainly football clubs, nothing ever goes perfectly, and you don't always get what you want. And so the ideal time to get Tuchel would be right at the end of the season. It gives them a whole summer and play with it, all the things that Frank's saying. Mm-hmm. But that's not going to happen. But does that mean that you don't get the best guy available? Because I think Tuchel is the best guy available. There's no question he will not walk into Manchester United and be overawed. He will walk into Manchester United and he will make his presence felt straight away. So I would wait. It's not ideal. You would prefer he was there before, after, depending on the World Cup. But if the best guy, you have to wait, then you get him then.
Last word of this to you, Jules.
Yeah, no, I understand what Frank is saying. I just would like to remind everybody, the Premier League next season starts on August 22nd. The World Cup final is on July 19th. that's still more than 4 weeks then. Even if you reach the final, even if you win the final, and that's not even if England lose in the semi-final, quarter-final, even before that, whatever, there's still, for me, enough time for Tuchel to go and take over. He would have his people doing the fitness work a few days before, but there's still a good 4 weeks then to prepare for Manchester United's first game of the season, for example.
This is the first time we've had, of course, all you boys together since the sacking of Ruben Amorim. Just yesterday, obviously, we discussed on Sunday after that press conference how he pretty much oozed the vibe of a man who wanted to be sacked. That's exactly what played out. Were you surprised, Stevie?
No, it was inevitable that he was going to get the sack eventually. But the fact that he came out and said what he did, it's not a shock.
Yeah.
Absolutely no. He had please sack me written all over it, and they obliged.
Over on the website, well, this is just his record here. Take a look at this, obviously. Just a 38% win percentage, 24 wins, 18 draws, and 21 defeats. Jules, no surprise for you?
No, I mean, those numbers are embarrassing. Let's call it what it is, because at times we were kind to him, we find him excuses, and there was maybe it was a little bit better at times this season to a certain extent, but this is not good enough. This is not acceptable when you're Manchester United. Even if you're not the old Manchester United, the one from Fergie, the winning one, anything you want, this is embarrassing. This would be embarrassing for any clubs in the Premier League, really. And if you look at it, actually, from the team that were there last season and are still there this season, it's only Wolves, West Ham and Spurs who have a worse record than Ruben Amorim. I mean, the guy could not even win more than 3 games in a row, and that only happened twice, by the way, in 14 months. It was embarrassing. He was just not good enough, so he had to go, and I think they would have sacked him at the end of the season regardless, but now, because he asked for it, they got rid of him now.
Taking a look at some of his lowest moments over on ESPN, they've gone through quite a few of them, as you can imagine. After the debut, of course, against Ipswich, after that draw, he said, "We're going to suffer." Marcus Rashford was, of course, famously dropped. Called the team the worst in Manchester United history. He lost that Europa League final to Spurs. Knocked out in the League Cup on penalties against 4th tier Grimsby. And of course, drew at home against Wolves. Stevie, you look at all of those. Which was the worst?
Well, I think if I'm a player at Manchester United and my manager comes out and says I'm part of the worst team in Manchester United history, you've lost me. Straight away.
Right.
Straight away, it's, well, what? You blaming us? You're throwing us under the bus. That's basically what he did. He threw the whole squad, the whole starting 11, everybody under the bus. Not my fault. You're the worst team in Man United history. I mean, if you how to lose the dressing room in one easy statement? Absolutely, that one.
Frank, that one for you?
That one was when he got out with against Grimsby Town, a 4th tier team. With all due respect, I mean, it cannot happen that way. And what he said after the game also, I mean, that's unbearable for me, and that's impossible when you're Manchester United. I mean, that's so unprofessional, and he didn't do anything to avoid that. We were feeling that it was possible for them to be out of the competition, and it happened.
Leandro Trossard proved to be the perfect antidote to Arsenal's attacking frustrations following Mikel Arteta's candid remarks about Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres may have struggled to truly impress since his summer arrival at Arsenal, but over the weekend, there was finally a glimpse of what he is capable of. More importantly, Trossard showed exactly why he could be the key to unlocking the Swedish striker's full potential during Arsenal's hard-fought 2-1 victory over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. The 31-year-old winger injected fresh energy into Mikel Arteta's side on Saturday night and helped breathe new life into the Gunners' attack. Shortly after replacing Gabriel Martinelli in the second half, Arsenal found the breakthrough. While Trossard did not directly contribute to either the opening goal or the dramatic stoppage time winner, his influence on the game was undeniable. Trossard took control of proceedings, dictating the tempo and pulling the strings down the left flank. Time and again, he dismantled Wolves' compact defensive setup, releasing Miles Lewis-Skelly into space, picking out Declan Rice on the edge of the box, and crucially, feeding Gyökeres with intelligent, well-timed passes. Operating as a creative hub, the Belgian showcased his playmaking qualities, delivering sharp, purposeful distribution. His introduction completely shifted the momentum of the match, and for the first time in weeks, Arsenal's $64 million striker briefly looked like a genuine threat. Before Trossard's arrival, Gyökeres endured a frustrating and ineffective outing in attack. In fact, the Belgian was the only player to carve out a clear-cut opportunity for the 27-year-old forward, slipping a simple yet incisive ball in behind the Wolves' backline. Gyökeres controlled the pass, beat his defender, and aimed for the far post. Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnstone was beaten, but the Swedish striker saw his effort agonizingly drift just wide. If Arteta truly wants to get the best out of Gyökeres, then granting Trossard a more prominent role in the starting 11th could be the solution. Speaking to TNT Sports after the win, the Arsenal manager openly addressed the challenges facing his marquee signing. "It's a collaboration between the two," Arteta explained. "He was in some really good positions, but the ball didn't arrive quickly enough, accurately enough, or with the precision a number 9 needs to score." But his commitment and intention were there, and we have to keep pushing. Arteta was equally vocal in defending Gyökeres prior to the match, urging patience with the striker's adaptation to English football. "There was huge expectation because we were signing a proven goal scorer, probably with the best statistics in Europe," Arteta said. "But he's coming into a different league, the most demanding league in the world. What happens if he doesn't score in 5 or 6 games? That was the only question I asked him. How are you going to react if you don't score in 5 or 6 matches? Can you handle that? And what about the next 100 games? That's what people need to see. The sample size is still very small, so leave him alone. Let him do what he does best. Support him, and I'm convinced things will come good." That message from Arteta resonated beyond the Emirates. In the days following the Wolves' victory, the debate around Gyökeres intensified among pundits, supporters, and former players. While some questioned whether Arsenal's record signing is truly suited to the Premier League's pace and physicality, others pointed to the structural issues around him rather than the striker himself. Much of the post-match analysis focused on Arsenal's chance creation and balance in the final third. The Wolves game highlighted a recurring theme this season. Gyökeres often makes the right movements, but the service into dangerous areas has been inconsistent. When Trossard entered the match, that problem briefly disappeared. Arsenal suddenly looked more fluid, more unpredictable, and far better equipped to supply a traditional number 9. Former players speaking on television and radio were quick to note the contrast. With Trossard drifting inside and linking play, Arsenal's attacking shape became more compact, allowing Gyökeres to stay higher up the pitch and occupy central defenders. That, in turn, created space for midfield runners like Rice and Ødegaard to arrive late in the box. It was a glimpse of an attacking formula that Arsenal have rarely sustained this season. The reaction from supporters has been equally divided. While frustration with Gyökeres' goal return remains, there is growing appreciation for his work rate, physical presence, and willingness to press from the front. Many fans now see Trossard as the missing connector, the player who can translate Gyökeres' movement into genuine scoring opportunities. Internally, Arteta faces an important decision. Persisting with a front line that isolates Gyökeres risks damaging the striker's confidence, especially with tougher fixtures on the horizon. At the same time, promoting Trossard to a regular starting role could mean reshuffling wide positions and reducing Martinelli's minutes, a bold call that would not come without consequences. Yet football at the highest level often comes down to chemistry rather than reputation. The Wolves match suggested that Arsenal's most expensive signing may not need drastic changes to his own game, but rather the right supporting cast around him. If Arteta embraces that idea, Gyökeres' slow start could soon be remembered as nothing more than a difficult adjustment period. For now, the pressure remains. Goals will ultimately define Gyökeres' Arsenal career, and patience in North London is never unlimited. But with Trossard offering clarity, creativity, and calm in possession, Arsenal may finally have found the key to unlocking their striker. and turning promise into consistent production.